Head coach Dan Hartleb, student athletes Drake Westcott and Jack Crowder. Coach, an opening statement from you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a fun game when you win, but you know, we just beat a really good Indiana State team. I have great respect for them. Mitch and I are really close friends and talk about, you know, games and teams and, you know, just life all the time. And so, you know, it's tough coming in and beating one of your friends, but we're not going to back down from that. Our guys did an unbelievable job, starting with Jack Crowder. He went out from the start, was in command. You know, it was one of those situations, didn't have to make any bullpen decisions today, and that's pretty special. And Drake came up with some big hits. You just look all the way around. We pitched it. We played very, very well defensively. Came up with key and clutch hits. You know, just a well-played game. And then, you know, the other thing I want to point out is the play that Kyle Hazer makes, diving in the 5-hole and throwing the guy to first base, which, yeah, it could bring a little bit of momentum, but he made an unbelievable play, and you know, Drake did a good job at first base, falling over and catching it.
All right, questions for student athletes?
Burt Granger, D1 Baseball. Jack, at what point in this game, or maybe it was in the bullpen warming up, did you know you had your A stuff tonight?
I think first inning, honestly. I mean, the bullpen felt normal. Went out for the first inning, had feel for the slider, had feel for the changeup. Fastballs were in and out. Kind of felt from there I could have control of all three pitches, which was mostly a good sight for me. So.
Do you have a more memorable start than this one?
No, I think this one tops it. I mean, hadn't pitched in the postseason here yet, and had a pretty decent outing and stuff. So this one definitely tops it for sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jack, I think you got ahead of your first round through the lineup. I think it was 8 of the first 9 batters.
Mm.
You know, obviously that helps, but not only what sense do you get from it, but what sense do you feel from the batters that they're struggling to get a read on what you're pitching? I mean, what's that kind of feel like when you're on the mound?
Yeah, as a pitching staff, we always talk about first pitch strikes, getting ahead in counts. So, I mean, to do that early on in the game, just establish that I'm going to be in the zone and makes hitters think and know that I'm going to be in the zone, but they don't really know what pitch is going to be in the zone. So just getting ahead and getting 0-1 instead of 1-0 is just huge confidence booster for the team and myself as a pitcher.
Drake, at what point are the rest of you looking at each other, maybe between hits or when you go back to the dugout and realizing, oh, he's on fire tonight?
I'd say it was probably in the second inning. The big ticket had his best stuff today. I mean, we were talking about it before the game, and he was locked in all day, and he came up when we needed him most, and everything he had, all his pitches were working, hitting the spots, and just competed.
Drake, it seems like you were seeing the ball pretty well tonight. You had the RBI single in the third, I think, and then what really impressed me was staying in against a pretty tough low slot lefty and driving a double the other way in the 8th inning. So talk about like what you were seeing out of the Indiana State pitchers who, for the most part, pitched pretty well tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they have a good staff, and those pitchers have good stuff. And it comes back to the approach of hitting and what we've done all year. It's when you got, you know, left-hander with high velo, crossfire, just keeping your front shoulder in and driving the ball backside, staying on pitches, and we were able to stay on balls. Everybody in the lineup tonight, even guys who, you know, didn't have a whole bunch of hits tonight, we were still hitting balls hard all throughout the lineup. And I think it's important as an offense to just keep doing what we're doing, just staying through baseballs. And when you stay through the ball, you're able to track it deeper, see it deeper, and use the whole field. That makes you more dangerous as a hitter.
Drake, 6 out of the 9 guys in the lineup drew walks tonight, 9 walks overall. Just illustrate the patience that, you know, the whole team collectively showed at the plate, which created your opportunities to score.
I mean, that's something we've been doing all year. And when we're at our best as an offense, it's when we're spitting on pitches out of the zone and hammering stuff in the zone. Because when we get walks and then just pass the bat along, like Coach says all the time, just pass to the next guy, pass to the next guy. And when you're able to do that and then get some guys on base and somebody comes up with a hit, and that's just huge for the offense.
Jack, Indiana State talked about your composure on the mound. They'd seen you an awful lot. It's your first NCAA Regional start. How were you able to kind of keep the breathing going and understand and get through 8 innings?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we played them for 4 years. We play multiple times a year, so I mean, we're pretty familiar with them and stuff. But I don't know, just staying composed, like just knowing, trust my pitches, trust my defense, just go out like every other start and throw strikes, make defense work, and work today. So.
Specifically with your stuff, it seemed like the cutter was really working for them and had them puzzled. Was that kind of the best you've seen out of your cutter?
Yeah, definitely from a strike percentage wise, I can get them in there for strikes, and usually people like spit off because they don't think I'm going to land it and stuff. But today I was landing them, making them think that I can throw that for a strike, throw a fastball for a strike, and I landed some changeups too. So really just made them think that it was going to be in the zone.
Not only are y'all set to face the number 2 national seed, you're set to face the number 2 national seed in their house where they've been drawing big crowds all year. You guys have played in big places, but how do you get ready for this one?
Drake, you want to take that?
Sure. I mean, what it comes down to is just another baseball game. You just got to show up, do the little things right, because that's what wins games, and go out there and compete. It doesn't matter where you're playing. We just got to show up and play our game.
Drake, I was going to ask you with where you started your college baseball career playing at Louisville, is playing in Lexington in a winter bracket game something you kind of were itching at, or making too big a deal out of that?
I think it's too big of a deal,
Okay.
personally.
Yeah, so to go back to your question, I mean, these guys are entertainers. College athletics are entertainers, and you want to play in front of people and crowds and fans, and so it's going to be an awesome atmosphere, and you earn your way into these situations, and so to me this is fun, and I know these guys will come out and respond well to it.
Thanks, guys. You're free to go. We'll do some more. Coach.
Thank you.
All right, questions for Coach?
Dan, I know that Jack's had a 4-year career here, and that had to have been one of his better starts he's ever had here. Just how did you see it kind of coming together tonight the way it did?
Well, it is his best start, and he's given us some really key wins along the way, and he's gone out there every Friday night, which is not easy to do. If you look at Jack's career early on, and these are all going to be things that he's done, and this is a compliment to him. His first couple years didn't get in very good shape, and he would break down during the year, and then he would lose his focus. And last year he'd be in situations he'd pitch 2 or 3 innings and all of a sudden blow up, and it was a focus thing, 100% of focus. And Coach Allen's done an unbelievable job to help him mature. And Jack's done a really good job of getting himself in shape and making adjustments and just maturing, right? It's part of growing up, and not only off the field but on the field, that maturity. And so really proud of him is where he's gotten to, and just the focus was there all night. And I went up and gave him a hug after the 8th inning. He said, "You're not letting me go back out there, are you?" I said, "No way." But he was locked in. Just an unbelievably efficient performance.
Coach, you just talked about Coach Allen, and he's battling cancer, and talk about kind of what that has meant to the team and the fight that you guys have had all season long.
Yeah, it's been a very difficult situation. Coach Allen came to me basically a week before the season, or maybe a week and a half, told me he's having some issues, and wouldn't let him go out of my office, and made some calls to our team physicians, and we got him in for tests right away. And as things unfolded in a very short amount of time, he continued to get more and more uncomfortable, and we got to a point where he traveled the first weekend. He was not going to travel the second weekend, so we had to tell the team what was going on. It was difficult. It was difficult for them. He's built a great rapport with the pitching staff. I thought this was going to be by far and away the best pitching staff that we had since Mark's been our pitching coach. And it's been incremental, trying to get the right guys in, helping guys mature, working with them. And I was really excited about that. And then they just got hit square in the face, and it was difficult for that group. And we scuffled a little bit early. The thing that really helped us in this situation, I'll get back to Mark, but the thing that's really helped us is Cameron Hill, the person that's come in to be our pitching coach. Mark has been his mentor for a number of years, and he pitched in the big leagues. He's still trying to play, wants to get back into baseball. He works out every day and throws, which is, it's nice because those guys are out there watching, how it's done. And so it wasn't seamless, but Cam has been around in the off season when he's trained with Coach Allen, and so there was familiarity from a face standpoint, and just he had been around. So it was a nice transition in a very, very difficult situation. But Mark has done a really, really good job, even though it's really difficult for him. But he stayed in touch with the guys. I know a couple times he wasn't pleased with some things that he saw and chewed them out, probably took a little bit out on them. But he's been involved with the scouting reports. He watches every game. We get feedback on availability with guys. So he's still there helping, even though he can't be the coach. And that's kept him going, which has been nice. It's a break for him. He's scuffling. He's going through a lot. Got a lot ahead of him, but the team has played for him. It was neat when we clinched things at Purdue. We brought a phone out into the huddle, called him, and the guys got to interact with him. It was really a special moment. So, just they all know that this is a game, and he's fighting for life, right? So, it's been an inspiration.
Dan, I know that Jack was a highly recruited kid out of high school, and I know that this has always been a developmental program that you've seen it. Just what was it like for you to watch somebody who's almost 22 years old just put it all together on a big stage like this tonight?
Well, it's rewarding and it's awesome. You can ask Jack and you can ask his parents. There was some serious headbutting, and I usually don't lose those situations, but we butted heads and I didn't give in some areas and as much as he probably didn't like me at times, he's responded, and that's to me that's why you're in college athletics, is to watch guys grow up, both on and off the field, and help them mature and help them develop. It's a shame we're losing some of that with the transfer situation, but Jack's just a true competitor that has really come into his own. So very rewarding to watch his progress and then to go out tonight and give us that performance.
Just want to sleep. I know it's only 4 on the board tonight offensively, but did you see things that you think could easily turn this around and have? Did you see potential for big innings tonight, just the way you were hitting balls?
We hit some balls really hard.
Yeah.
It's baseball. And I told guys, you get championship play, don't expect balls to be flying out of the yard, like we did at certain times. Hopefully we get that situation, we can drive a bunch out of the yard, but we faced really good pitching tonight, didn't have that opportunity, the ball wasn't flying, and you have to find ways to manufacture runs and win when you're not hitting home runs, and our guys did a great job of that. Came up with some really key hits. The thing to me, if you look at the box scores, we had 9 walks, and pitching-wise, we had 0. And so, there's a difference. Our guys did not swing at bad pitches, and like Jack said, or Drake said, one of the things we try to do is aggressive in the zone, spit on things out of the zone, pass it on to the next guy. You load the bases up enough, you're going to do some damage.
Dan, you've always started Cooper on Saturday. Is there any reason you wouldn't hand the ball again anymore?
What to see. I'm not sure. We have to make that decision. We'll make it on the bus or at the hotel.
Okay.
You touched on it, but with all the great things Jack did today, he saved your bullpen. What does that mean for you going into day 2 of this and only using 1 inning?
Well, it's huge because you don't know what's going to happen with your starters, right? You just don't know, and so not to really have to use anybody. Joe Glassy, he bounces back, and so he'll be fully available. We got a complete bullpen, and you do everything you can tomorrow now to stay in the winner's bracket.